The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the host and guest and do not reflect the opinions or policies of the station, its owners, or its advertisers. All content should be considered editorial in nature. Listener discretion is advised.
Recorded live from the radio studios of WFAY and WMRV, Androlonis Media presents Cumberland County's smartest hour of talk radio. Welcome back to another edition of the Carolina Cabinet.
Well, everyone, good morning and welcome to the Carolina Cabinet. I'm Peter Pappas and I'll be your host this morning. We're proud to be the only homegrown conservative talk radio show in the region, and we know this is the smartest hour of radio. Joining me in the studio this morning is Pastor Joshua Goodman.
Good morning, family.
Good morning. Good morning. And
special guest,
Jim Turner.
Hey, hello.
All the way from Pakistan. It's very nice to see you this morning. Usually he's on the producing side, but I said, let's let everybody see your pretty face. So, we're going to dive into a show this morning. We appreciate you tuning in and spending time with us this morning. Please take a moment to like, share, or follow us on Facebook and look for us at thecarolinacabinet.com. You can find our links and shows and how to listen on your favorite podcast broadcaster. And with that, don't go far. We'll be right back.
Since 2012, Joshua Goodman has been the senior pastor at the Cliffdale Christian Center, a dynamic church and ministry located in West Fayetteville. Join our friend Pastor Goodman for a podcast or a live sermon in person at 6427 Cliffdale Road. Now for today's good news. Here is Joshua Goodman.
Well, good morning from the All-American City. This is Pastor Josh, and have I got some good news for you in a time when so many want to talk about, discuss, unpack all the problems, circumstances, and situations. I'm here to give you some good news. Once again, friends, we're going back to Peter. The apostle writes in 1 Peter 4, he says, "Therefore, since Christ suffered for us in the flesh, let us arm ourselves with this same mindset. For he who suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin." I love those words, to arm yourself with the same mind. Listen, I am a firm believer in our Second Amendment rights. That amendment states that we have the right, it's the right of the people to bear arms, and it shall not be infringed upon. There's not very many places I go unarmed. My wife's been educated, the proper use, storage of firearms. My children have all been educated on the proper use and storage of firearms. I have taught them how to arm themselves. That same thing applies to our mindset, because not only have I taught my kids how to arm themselves physically, I have also taught them how to arm themselves mentally and emotionally. When the Apostle Peter says that we ought to arm ourselves with that same mindset, he's telling us to just get ready. Let me put it to you like this. I'm going to go through some stuff. Some of it I'm not going to like. My kids, who I'm training, they're going to go through some stuff that they're not going to like. You, my friend, are going to go through some stuff, and some of it you're simply not going to like. So what do? You arm yourself with that reality. Be aware of it, and don't spend time in panic and shock and awe. Back in 1922, Flora Ann Steele published The Tale of Henny Penny. You may know her better as Chicken Little. And you know the story. Chicken Little's out there pecking at corn. An acorn falls out of an oak tree, bops her on the head, right? She is convinced the sky is falling. Panic breaks out. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Convinced that she's got to let the king know, as if there's something he's going to be able to do about it, she begins her journey to the king. And along the way, she meets Ducky Daddles, Goosey Poosey, Turkey Lurkey, and they all come along in a panic, in fear that the sky is falling. And then they come in touch with Foxy Woxy, and Foxy Woxy says, "Listen, come with me. I'll show you a shortcut to the king. He lures them to his hovel. And of course, we know this is a trick on his part. And he dispatches all of them except poor Chicken Little. But in that moment, what saved her life, she heard the rooster crow, and she goes back to the barn to lay her eggs. Now, you may ask me, you may say, Pastor Josh, what in the world does this have to do with anything? Well, the problem occurs when we panic. When we freak out, we put ourselves in more danger, and we put others in more danger. The key is simply don't panic. Know there are going to be acorns that fall out of trees and pop you on the head. They're not going to feel good. It's not going to be a great day that day. But if you don't panic, you will be better off, because we can know that Foxy Woxy, and in the story of our life, that's our enemy. He is always on the prowl, looking for times to put us into a panic so that he can pounce. So what am I going to give you today? I'm going to give you this. Expect the acorns in life. Arm yourself with that knowledge. It's just an acorn. Life is going to go on. Did it hurt? Sure it did. But the sky's not falling. And plus, you've got eggs that you need to lay, hypothetically. What am I saying? God has created you with purpose and destiny. Don't let the enemy derail that destiny with an acorn. You got this. You can do it. I believe in you. This is Pastor Josh, and that is your good news.
A conservative local radio talk show that you're not afraid to tell your friends about. The Carolina Cabinet, land of the free thinkers, and talk show of the brave.
And good morning, and welcome back to the Carolina Cabinet. Good morning,
once
everybody.
again, good morning.
So I've got a lot to unpack from that, Pastor Josh. This is my weekly, everybody knows, my weekly dose.
Yeah, your weekly
so,
dose.
I like the Peter theme so far. Everybody knows I'm not St. Peter, for sure. But let's see. So we had St. Peter sounds like a scoutmaster to me.
Yes.
Kind of be prepared kind of guy.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to change your nickname to the Pistol Packing Pastor.
No. Yes, sir.
If Heather doesn't have a corner on that market, Heather Holmes, the Pistol Packing Mama. But it's about arming yourself with, I guess, what I felt was positivity that there's going to be a better day ahead.
Yep. And realize, when we acknowledge and realize that life is going to happen.
Right.
We are going to face difficulties and hardships. That's life, right? Mm-hmm. The acorns are going to fall. But if we know that the acorn's going to fall, and we expect the acorn to fall, then when it falls,
you're prepared.
You're prepared.
Yeah. Well, at least it's not a safe.
Yes.
There's that.
Yep.
Like a Wile E. Coyote.
It's kind of like the way I pictured is two football teams, lining up at the scrimmage, right? Mm-hmm. And they know at the moment the quarterback says hike, they're going to be colliding into some fellas, mm-hmm. right? That whole line
is just what it is.
It is what it is. That's life. It's going to happen. We're going to face those days, right? When we're going to just collide with something. So get ready for it.
Okay.
Don't let it put you into shock and awe. Man, there's so many people who get so thrown off by life,
by life's inconveniences. It seems like. And It's like, did you not expect that?
Yeah.
What do you mean we got to pay taxes this year?
Why?
Death and taxes are guaranteed to us as American citizens.
Always.
So,
Can't do anything that wrong.
So anticipate so you don't overreact.
Yep.
And react with some kind of poise.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Because what you can do, and this is the cool part about it, Peter, is that your reaction to the situation, whether it's courage or panic, mm-hmm. Whether it's fight or flight, will affect the people around you. Mm-hmm. And if they see that you're willing to undergo these circumstances mm-hmm. and that you can keep your brow, free from sweat, then that will give other individuals courage.
Absolutely. I agree with that. So, the drill. What have we been up to the last couple of weeks? Also, thank you, Pastor Josh.
No, you're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Love it.
So what have we been up to? I'm going to let Jim go first because we had the end of Ramadan.
Oh.
All right. Talk to me, baby.
Right now.
Yep.
Okay.
So how it is, like we actually start our fast at the sunrise before that, and it ends after the sunset.
Okay.
So during this whole month, we actually fast, and we are not supposed to eat or drink anything while we are fasting.
Mm-hmm.
And
how'd that work out for you when you were working?
You become really lazy. Really lazy.
Yeah, fasting will do that.
Because
I was just going to point out as his employer. Like,
in the morning you have a little bit of energy. You're
Yeah.
like, fine, okay, I can get through with this and everything. And as soon as the sun goes,
Yeah.
it's down. The energy is down. You don't even feel like doing
I
anything.
felt bad for you. I was like, dude, go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been there.
So what is the purpose of Ramadan? What is it? I don't.
So the main concept is that you it's to give you and teach you how to be patient, how to understand the suffering and the pain of everyone who's not able to eat, and actually to make you feel that if you have the patience, because normally what happens is a lot of Muslims and a lot of people, while they're fasting, they do become aggressive.
Oh yeah.
Because
hangry is what we call it.
exactly, hangry. But that's what we are supposed to control. We are supposed to control our emotions. We are supposed to be more patient, and this is why this month is there, so that we can learn how to be more patient.
Okay.
How to be more understanding of different people all around the world.
So it's not like Greek Orthodox. You guys do Ash Wednesday and Lent and all that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So in Christianity, 40 days before we celebrate Resurrection Sunday, which is when we believe Jesus rose from the dead, there is Ash Wednesday, and I mean, really, you got Fat Tuesday first, and everybody parties, and then Ash Wednesday, and it's 40 days of what's called Lent or fasting, where you give up something, or you fast something. You do only eat at night, just whatever. It's up to the individual, but when we do it, we're doing it in correlation with that specific date, the resurrection of Christ. You guys, you're doing it for the experience.
For the month of Ramadan.
Yeah,
it's actually a month in the Islamic calendars, so we follow that.
Okay.
And that's how it's been every year during the month of Ramadan.
Gotcha.
We
But
fast.
it's not something where this is when Muhammad received revelation or anything like that. It doesn't celebrate. It's not an event
nothing like that.
Nothing. Okay. Cool.
But there were a lot of important dates within the month of Ramadan, but it's not that caused the Ramadan.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not aiming towards
the main
gotcha.
cause of the Ramadan.
This is more a reminder of sacrifice
Yes.
and other people in mind, that other people can't eat. Other people, you
Yeah.
need to control
Yeah.
your emotion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of center yourself. I like
Yeah, and I
that.
can tell you,
Yeah.
I mean, like, because usually at the beginning of every year, I do an extended fast for usually 21 days. And man, my wife will tell you,
You're too good of a cook to go on a fast like that.
I
I
am not nice to be around.
No. Well,
I am not nice.
you're okay with us.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess, So
I had to
put it-
play
yeah.
nice.
Okay, yeah. Well, next year I'll know. I'll take it easy.
Yeah, in January, yeah.
So I brought up Ramadan and all because I had a great meal at Jim's house.
What'd you have?
So he's gonna have to tell you. I know there was like 4 dishes or something. I enjoyed it. It was fantastic. But Jim, tell me about what you did feed us.
Yeah, what?
So I actually went all traditional. So back at home in Pakistan, there were a lot of different things that we have when certain kind of festival or occasions are. It's just like those kind of dishes, like turkey for you guys.
Yeah.
So
You see, like you guys.
Yeah.
You see?
yeah, just giving it.
So what's the Pakistani turkey? No. Okay. We had a good fruit salad.
Yeah, we had
Okay.
it's a fruit cocktail kind of a
Yeah.
salad, but it has more juicy. We normally do add sugar and some spices into it just to make it more flavorful. But it depends on you how you want it. And other than that, we had it's a dish called dahi bade. But
Okay.
what it's made of, it's yogurt, onions, and ball made of pulses. So it's soft, it's juicy, and it has a lot of flavor because the yogurt has already like
It's potatoes.
potatoes as well.
Yeah. What's
they were in-
pulses?
Pulses,
You kept saying
like
that. I was
grains.
Greens.
Grains.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Like
Greens.
we would equate it to a
it's-
like a bulgur.
It's like a mashed potato ball with the greens in it, and then the yogurt is served cold.
yeah.
And I was surprised it was cold, actually. And then I ate some more. I was like, this is really good. And then, there was nothing bad. So then we had that. What was the next? We had the samosa.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And there was chicken samosa, though.
Chicken samosas and
and beef
rolls.
Beef rolls.
Beef rolls. What
And
was that?
Just they look
just
like
the beef rolls.
they look
they
like
were center filled with beef, and they were coated with.
they look like lumpia.
Okay.
That's what they look like.
Okay.
And he went to the Mediterranean store and
Yes.
bought tamarind sauce and what was the other one? Chili,
The
green
green
chili.
chili.
Oh, it was good. Just alone.
Yeah.
That,
Ooh.
and then the main course
was
like we hadn't had enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the main course was actually like a stew. We call it halim. Like we make it out of different grains, crushed together. Then you have to mix it and add chicken to it. But it has a lot of different spices. And the good thing is, because normally it's not that spicy.
Yeah.
So you get to choose your own dressings in
Yes.
a way. Like you can put lemon. We put lemon, coriander, mint, ginger, green chilies, and then some spices over it.
Woo.
I'm going to wave the flag on him saying it wasn't too spicy. I was eating. I was like,
Yeah. It's good.
okay.
It wasn't too
You know,
spicy for
it
him.
wasn't. No, it was good. It was enjoyable spicy.
Yeah.
But
It's
it was not bland
sizzling.
by any means.
No, yeah,
He's making
yeah.
it sound like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, there's no flavor.
So
But,
in India, obviously they
their
are
mortal enemy.
are,
Thanks a
yes,
lot.
yeah,
Yeah, bring that
are
up, yeah.
predominantly Buddhist, and then they don't eat a lot of meats.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of chicken. Pakistan, do you guys eat everything?
Yeah, we have everything other than the pork.
Miss
That's
Piggy.
the
They don't
only
eat Miss
thing,
Piggy.
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
actually eat. So we have we even do eat camels, cows,
Really?
buffaloes, and that's actually something that you can relate with our festival as well for Eid. That's what we call it. It's like Christmas.
Yeah.
And we do actually sacrifice that, like those animals. On
To be roasted.
That day.
Would I be wrong in saying that if you can ride it, you'll eat it? Pretty much, because you don't ride pigs, but you
You
ride
don't-
camels, you ride this, you
You
ride
cannot
that.
ride goats
You can't?
or sheep.
Yeah.
Even as a little kid?
As a little kid, but
No.
Oh, okay.
and I love some goat and sheep.
Yes, it's good. Well, we're going to take him. He's going to...
But we don't eat horses. If you,
No horses.
No horses.
Okay, so maybe that's not a good rule of
Huh.
thumb.
Not a good
I was trying to simplify
Northern
it.
China,
If you
they
can ride
do.
it, you can eat it.
Yeah. And China was the first
So-
place I ever tasted dog. Do they eat dog in Pakistan?
No.
No. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It is so bad. It is. So I eat everything. Rabbits, deer, everything.
Yeah, we've already established this group will not pass up.
Yeah,
a good
no,
meal.
but
We've already-
but dog is the worst meat I've ever tasted. It was so strong and pungent, and it was just
You're supposed to pet the dog, not
yeah
eat the dog.
Yeah,
so-
no, they woo,
Okay.
Yeah, it
So
was-
anyway, I wanted to point out it was a great meal.
Thank you.
Good company. We learned a little bit. We had good conversation. It's nice to have people around that are multicultural.
Yes.
and you get another
And experience
perspective.
their food.
I've
Oh,
known
my
him
goodness.
for 4 years,
Yeah.
but now he's here.
Yeah.
And I get to look at him like, what you talking about? Willis?"
Yeah, yeah.
I get to give him that real look, like, I don't think so. But he's a good sport too. I can say some really heinous stuff to him. He claps
Who,
back.
you, Peter?
Really,
No.
yeah, I imagine so. Allegedly. So, okay. So that was my weekend. Josh,
Me and my
I know
Hubba,
you got
hubba,
yeah, hubba, hubba.
We are at school preparing for speech meet.
Okay.
And so we've got and of course, being a pastor, we're coming up to Passover, Holy Week, Resurrection Sunday, all of those things. So really, we are just in full-on preparation mode. I will cater a Passover dinner on Wednesday night of Holy Week. And then on Thursday, I'll cater a Mediterranean meal for Renaissance, our school.
Okay.
So I'll be cooking for.
Wait, didn't you do that last year?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well, I'm proudly going to judge one of your
Yes.
competitions,
Yeah.
so maybe
Yeah.
I'll get an invite.
You're welcome to come out to
Okay.
the
All right.
to the banquet.
Don't tempt me.
We're-
I'll be
we
right
we
there.
will be asking for money,
Okay,
but
that's okay. Yeah, there's always a quid pro quo, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be good. But we are, like I said, we're in the full blows of just preparation.
It's like your Super Bowl almost.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is. And
Well,
I mean,
Christmas is a big deal.
it is. But Easter,
the main event.
So you have two times in church when if you don't pack the house that you will pack the house.
Okay.
You ready for the 2 dates? Number 1, Easter.
Oh yeah.
Number 2, Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
Mother's
really?
Day packs
I would
the
think
house.
Christmas.
Yep. Nope.
Because I always called myself a creaster. I go Christmas, Easter.
Easter. Yep.
But no.
They will.
Okay,
They will.
Mother's
They
Day.
will. Yep. Mother's Day.
You got to pretend to mom that you're a good Christian.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever it takes to get you in the doors. I don't care what you're trying to front. Just go do it.
It's
better than you just Googling Bible verses and sending them to people because you're mad. So,
well, and it's crazy because it makes you feel so good as a pastor because it's standing room only. But then the next week,
then it's like,
they didn't come back. Oh man, what?
And you're like, well, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? It's like I tell people that this certain parts of the year are just slow.
Yep, just the way it is.
And I've got 30, 40 years of paperwork to just show me.
Yep.
It's just that's the way it
is.
is.
So for church life, summer is often, July especially is in any time during summer because like the first week of summer, half the people are out on vacation. And so, I mean, it will, and then it's just sporadic. I mean, it's like a roller coaster all summer long. And then the 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, people start coming back when you get a little closer to Christmas and pack the house.
Yeah.
But those 2 weeks are, 2-3 weeks in there are usually the least well attended and the least well people giving.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for everybody around the holidays.
Yep.
So, all right, that covers Jim. That covers me. Well, it kind of covered me and Jim, I think, for what we did the weekend. Because the rest of it, I think I was a sloth. I didn't do much. I did some work in the yard or watched somebody else do it, but I got it done. So, hey, I got to go.
And you're having to do, it's back to yard work time.
It is back to work. Yeah, it was shorts weekend this weekend, actually.
Yep.
I'm very happy this weather has returned.
Yeah, but seeing you in shorts,
it'll blind you. Blinded
yeah.
by the light if I take off and see these white legs. But we got a lot going on, guys. So, I actually did homework tonight.
Yeah.
We got a lot going on. So, Department of Education is being wound down. Yeah. President Trump has said, sayonara. This is a campaign promise. There was a mandate. So
break that down to me because because there is a lot of people out there saying he's going to close down all the schools. And it's going to affect everything. I've heard radio broadcasts. Those kids, they won't get an education. The impoverished won't get food because.
What did we do before 1970 something that this thing was founded? First of all, Department of Education doesn't educate one child, doesn't employ one teacher in this whole United States of America.
Really?
No, they take our local tax money. Well, not local; it's the federal tax money. They take it. They put it in a bucket, and then they give it out to who they think who has lobbied them hardest to get this money back to the program. So they don't provide food for children.
So it's not like schools are going to just close the day after this happens.
And since the inception of the Department of Education, I've seen some pushback from the left about this is a fallacy, but we are falling behind as a country with science and math.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the people that are arguing that we're not, I'm like, just look around you.
Yeah.
What statistic do you need besides what your two eyes can see that these kids, we're teaching them to pass tests, we're not teaching them to be scholars. And that's one of the things drives me nuts when I see a parent, the scholars, they could be.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there aren't scholars out
Teaching
there.
a child how to think and how to learn.
You're given that title, and I think Renaissance does a great job of making them scholars.
Yeah, I agree.
And you can truly run with that notion. But,
So what will the common citizen of Fayetteville, what impact will they see when this is implemented?
Not much. So let's talk about stuff that affects kids in the local schools.
Okay.
School meal programs.
Yes.
That's run currently by the United States Department of Agriculture.
See, I didn't.
Department of Education doesn't do anything with giving school lunches. Then you've got programs that help children with special needs. That is handled Department of Health and Human Services.
Really?
So Department of Education isn't doing that.
So and perhaps it's just bureaucracy, but what do they do?
They try to recommend national curricula. They try to they're the watchdog for the government.
But we all know because of the election, they don't make decisions in regards to curriculum.
No. That's local and state.
Yeah, it's local and state.
So this is my thing about disbanding Department of Education. Our money is being sent and not being distributed back fairly to where it came from. Why don't we just hold on to our stuff? We have to handle education at the local and state level anyway. So why don't we just keep it to where I can go see my representative right now?
Yeah.
At city, county commission or the Board of Education, and I can make a case for what books I want children to be able to have access to and what I want them to be taught on. Another thing was Pell Grants. This is a good one, FAFSA and Pell Grants. So if you went to college in the last 30 years, 40
Are they
years.
going to pay off my kids' college loans?
No,
Oh,
sorry.
man.
Biden's out of office. He's out of gas. If he had just not given all that money to Ukraine, we would have had money to do that. But
I could really use the help.
I really could.
I could
Me
really.
too. I really want help.
Because they don't just your kid doesn't just take out student loans.
It's you.
Yeah,
you're co-signing.
Yeah, and I got so she carries half the loan. I carry half the loan. Well, she carries. A
And
little
what's
less
your
than
degree
half.
in now that she got?
Yeah, art history.
The art history. Yeah, okay, yeah. One time I was like, some art history major. He's like, that's my daughter's got one of those. I said, well, I hope she knows how to make a latte.
I'll say probably $100,000 in student debt.
That's okay. The meteoric rise in education expense is because it's like a chicken and the egg situation.
Yeah.
Did this stuff get more expensive because of all the cheap money floating around in the government, or did the government feel a need because the expenses went up?
Yeah.
Which do you think?
Yeah.
And what about private institutions that have sprung up, like your University of Phoenix is, your online? Mm-hmm. I kind of cringe when I see some of those commercials. I'm like, that's just going to suck somebody's resource of money, and they're going to be tied to debt that they'll never recover from. But no matter what,
I'll recover.
This is one more thing the
One
Department
day.
of Education doesn't handle.
Yeah.
Currently, it's being handled by the Treasury Department.
Really? Okay.
So, or it will be returned to the Treasury Department. So they do have something in place. But according to Elon Musk on Joe Rogan's podcast, he says it was just another layer.
Yeah.
That's
no
all.
Bureaucracy.
It was just another layer of bureaucracy. So the people that are protesting against it, it's like, why don't you want me to get the money directly? Why do I need to go filter it through? Because you filter it, every time you filter it,
you lose.
There's overhead, bureaucracy, there's God knows.
Yep.
So this is not a net negative for our country. This is a positive.
Jim, does Pakistan use public education?
We have school boards,
Yeah.
but they have nothing to do with providing education. Like over there, we have a private school system, which is way more expensive.
Yeah.
And then we have government school system, which is actually way easier to get, and you can actually
But is it public? Like, can anybody go to school?
Yeah.
Is everybody guaranteed an education?
Not everybody. You have to pay a certain amount.
You still have to
in
pay
order-
something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to.
Well, and they probably have a different construct for property taxes
Oh yeah.
and other things. You don't pay property taxes, do you?
We do.
You do?
Yeah.
We do.
Okay. Well, so that's where we get our money from. So
So the property tax goes. So I want to understand this. So property taxes, our local IRS, they collect our property taxes. That money then goes to Washington.
no. So the property taxes go to the county commission.
Okay.
And that stays. So our property taxes pay for the physical schools, the four walls and the roofs, and for teachers' salaries. Well, the salaries come from the state, but of course we're funding it.
Yeah.
Okay, but our responsibility is only to make sure that the students have a building to be taught in.
Okay.
And then, of course, we do have some oversight with the curriculum and things of that nature. And we're going to talk more about that when we come back from commercial.
News, weather, sports, and common sense talk in the morning. Grab another cup of coffee and settle in for more of the Carolina Cabinet, Eastern North Carolina's sexiest conservative talk show. Have another cup of coffee and get fired up with the Carolina Cabinet, Eastern North Carolina's smartest conservative morning talk show.
And good morning. Welcome back to the Cabinet. I'm Peter Pappas here with Pastor Josh.
Good morning, fam.
And with guest Jim.
Thank you.
Jim,
Hello, everyone.
So he does have a real, an actual Muslim name, but we're going to stick with Jim tonight.
Yeah, let's do
We don't want to confuse too many people. So
They're going to be like, who's that good-looking guy?
Yeah, right. I know. He was on television last week.
Was he really?
Yeah. So Jim, being a good Jim, he went to the Chamber of Commerce, the Chamber Coffee Club.
Yes, Coffee Club.
And that was where Chief Braden was there.
Yes.
Which congratulations to Chief Braden for his retirement.
Recently retired. Now, is he going to, let me ask you, because finish your story and then I'll ask.
So I saw him over the weekend. The Chamber of Commerce put on their reel. WTVD was there, and he got a good 3 or 4 seconds of on-air time.
Nice,
Yeah, they had him.
nice.
He was very businesslike and networking to people. He was doing a good job. I stood him up.
Yeah.
I woke up. I'm like,
I try to get out there.
It's like 7:30 in the morning. What monsters?
And
planned this?
My thing is that most evenings I'm doing stuff, and so I'm not getting home and getting to bed at 8.
Well, I don't have as much of an excuse. I live like within a mile or two, so I really have no excuse. But he got on TV, so
good deal.
They
Congratulations!
saw his handsome mug on network TV. So
Chief Baden, let me ask you about that, because is he actually retiring? Is he?
Oh, he's done. Yeah, they put Lieutenant Todd Joyce into the acting chief role, and Lieutenant Joyce, he's not a lieutenant anymore, but he.
Let me just, I hate to interrupt, but why do we have to have an interim chief? Did
they not choose anybody?
No. I can't pronounce what I keep wanting to say Biden, and it's not Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Baden, Chief Kim Braden. Yeah. So Chief Braden, did he not? Let me give you an example. So if I were going to step down from being pastor, I would say, hey, these are my plans. I hope within 3 months to be retiring, 6 months, whatever, and then they would begin searching, and it would be a seamless transition. What
the city has initiated a search, and there's some good people on the search crew, and they just haven't located a replacement yet. But I believe that Joyce was chosen to say, hey, this. I mean, not for nothing, the man has a lot of experience. He's kind of like Chief Braden was in that regard. Mr. Joyce has been on the streets. These guys are working officers. These are not the guys that were in administration playing politics.
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't know when we're going to be able to see an actual candidate.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess that's part of the issue is that, 3 months out, let's start looking for somebody. Let's not wait until,
Yeah, like it seems bass backwards, they call it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's know about it. Let's plan for it, and he is going to retire. He's not going to go take a job in Dallas or something.
But he's been with the police department since the early 90s.
Yeah, I was going to say like 30 years.
30 plus years
30
in.
plus
so,
years.
I mean, I don't know. I'd be ready to quit.
Yeah. I wouldn't want the job.
Well, and, one thing, there is a life cycle of police chiefs in Fayetteville. I think 3 to 5 years is about as much as you get out of anybody. But I think when you have a city council that's been as combative with him, he had a lot of messing up to do from Chief Hawkins, who ended up leaving and suing us. By the way, there was a lot of people that left the department because of her leadership style. Well, and that's not an unknown fact. Kim Braden,
and that's not shade. It's just it's reality.
Well, give me the numbers.
People didn't like her politics.
They didn't like her politics. So Kim Braden came in and he straightened out as many snakes as he could, and I just think the combativeness and the way that city council treated him maybe hastened that exit a little bit.
Yeah, and I guess you just get frustrated with dealing with the.
Well, if you go to work every day, I want to go to work with people that I don't need people to kiss my rear, but I don't need to be taken down every day.
Yeah, every day.
And every opportunity in the public that I get grandstanded at city council by certain councilmen that they want to file for mayor. So they're trying to build their reputation on your back. So I just think the man was a little burned out, and
it's crazy how quick somebody can burn out when not given the resources that are needed.
Well, look at our presidents of the United States. Look at George W. Bush when he went in versus when he gets out. Obama. It was funny. Obama was at a correspondence dinner, and he was all gray. It's towards the end of his 8 years, and he says, I'm no longer the strapping young socialist I was when I entered office.
No. And it's true. It wears
on you. The 24/7. Imagine your life. You become an actor on a 24/7 news channel. You're not getting, and these guys sleep 4 to 5 hours a night, if that. So congratulations to him. And we hope that maybe he'll come on the show and tell us about his plans.
Yeah.
I want to bring up Going woke and going broke. Anybody
Yes.
see Snow White in the last week or so?
Oh, hey! I have not. I have
You
not seen it.
Okay, well, you and like the rest of the people,
Yeah.
haven't seen it. Apparently, it only made $43 million. It cost $250 million to make.
Oh.
So now Disney is going to sell the crap out of dolls and
Sure,
movies and
sure.
all.
They'll-
So
they'll-
they'll probably get it back. But when a movie only makes that little bit the first opening weekend, that's telling.
Yeah.
And they did it to themselves. The star, Rachel Zelger, she continues to be a source of controversy. She said something, I don't know if you have the quotes pulled up, but she says, like, I hope all Trump supporters don't find any peace.
Yeah.
And there was some other stuff, some more heinous
You
stuff
can't-
that she
you
said.
can't do that.
You can't berate 50% of the nation
Yes.
and expect to be successful.
Yep. Over 50%.
No.
That's
You can't, so was Gal Gadot in that thing? In the Snow White movie?
I don't know.
She's I think I haven't watched
Well, and
it either,
this
so.
is the thing. I mean, I'm a movie enthusiast, and I can't think of anything in recent years that Disney has put out that I've been like, oh, that was really good.
They spend too much. See, I'm listening to Joe Rogan podcast now. These things
Yeah,
are 3 hours long though, so like I'm listening to him and Burt Kreischer, but they were talking about movies in
Burt, I love
back
Burt.
in the day,
Yeah.
right?
Epics.
That movies won Best Picture because they were good movies.
Great, yeah.
Your Star Wars and your Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Those
The
they
Godfather,
won.
yeah.
Yes, but now they're like, if you don't have a lesbian social worker
Yeah.
helping a transgender cast-off child, you're not going to win your Best Picture, Best Oscar, because Hollywood has gone so woke.
Yeah.
They don't care about how good the movie is.
Yeah.
How
They care about the
representative are
message.
you?
Yeah,
how
they care about the message.
It's like, can we just get entertained?
Yeah.
How many times have you heard a celebrity discuss their politics? It's like, listen, shut up, monkey. Just entertain me. Here's
yeah.
my money. Just be quiet.
And that's the thing. It's like I will be watching a movie, and when I feel like they're just trying to
virtue signal you.
Yeah.
I'm
like, okay, I'm done. I'm click.
Well, to me, it's like you should have a bingo card. It's like, oh,
Yes.
we have the gay couple.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, there we go. The
Yep.
transgender. Look, with all due respect, everybody deserves to be represented, but it just doesn't make sense with the
Yep.
storylines often. It's just there to make you feel like that should be your reality when it's somebody else's entirely. Okay, so look,
True.
everybody deserves a seat at the table, but when I want to watch a movie about, what is it? Men like to watch movies about many people dying all at once.
Yes.
Big action packed.
Yep.
Of course, women like to watch movies about one person dying very slowly.
Yes.
Like the
gooey,
Notebook,
yeah,
or
the ooey
stuff,
gooey, yeah.
stuff like that you get dragged to. I did see Black Bag a couple of weeks ago.
I hadn't seen it.
Nobody's heard about it, but it was a decent movie. It was about a married couple in MI6 that apparently, if you're married to another agent in MI6 and say you got to go and do an assassination or
Yeah.
something on Friday, honey, do you want to see the movies on Friday? They get to say Black Bag. They don't have to give you an explanation.
Really?
I love that. I'm going to start using that in my dating life.
Yes. Yeah,
Black
yeah.
Bag.
Black bag. And
Have you been seeing somebody? Black Bag.
yeah.
Who's this in your phone? Black Bag.
Yeah. You're not allowed to ask. Sorry.
No, I don't think I'll be lucky enough to live through something like
No,
that. But
yeah.
I was like, this movie, this is
they're-
giving me some
they're onto
ideas. I
something
like
here.
it. Yeah, they're onto
They're
something.
onto something.
So,
And I'm, so I was raised with Disney. I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah.
I went to the theme parks,
Sunday
watched the
nights,
show,
Disney
all
theater
the
at
stuff.
home. Yes.
And it's like, come on, man, what you doing to my Disney?
I don't think enough's going to be able to happen within 4 years of Trump being in office. Just telling people it's okay to not be woke.
Yeah,
It's okay to just enjoy it.
yeah.
Enjoy your life.
Make a good
Live
movie.
your life. My goodness, live your life. So they went broke, going woke. I do have some announcement here for the local GOP. So our local Republican Party is having its first executive board meeting, which is the executive committee meeting, which is pretty much all Republicans can be there. It's going to be April 22nd at the Lions Club on Camden Road.
Okay.
The new executive board of directors met on March 18th
Okay.
to have their first post-convention kind of let's get together in
Powwow.
one room
Yep.
and let's see what our agenda is going to be. So I've been told there's some very exciting stuff they're working on, some fundraisers, and There's some new members going to come on the board. So if you're Republican in Cumberland County, April 22nd at the Lions Club on Camden Road.
No, what will take place at that meeting? What's that going to look like?
They're going to sacrifice a demo. No.
Yeah. Boy.
So at the yeah,
don't
just
where are my girls at? I need my girls
really
to come.
do.
I do.
This is the second in a row show we've had with just all boys, and I'm going to get in trouble. So at the ex executive, I got to say it out because people don't know what this means. Executive committee. We keep calling it XCOM.
Okay.
It sounds so official.
Yeah.
Executive committee is anybody that has signed up as a precinct chair.
Okay.
So around the place they vote, if they signed up to be like the chairman, then you get a vote on the XCOM. So you being there, what's going to happen is we're going to discuss finances. It's just going to be a reset from the last board.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be a lot of housekeeping.
Okay.
Maybe this meeting. It's not going to be the most exciting, but there might be drinks there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe BYOB.
Yeah.
But
planning.
Yeah, just planning, and people can make motions on what they'd like to see in the party. There are some resolutions that we want to take to the state GOP convention. We touched on them locally. There was things about abortion, things about medical certificates of need as far as large. I didn't really get this one, but large medical equipment like a CT scanner.
Okay.
Hospitals have to go and like beg the state to get a certificate of appropriateness.
Okay.
I don't know. Something like they got to get permission to buy a big piece of equipment.
Okay.
Is what I boil it down to. And then there was something else I don't remember, but they are important GOP planks of the Republican Party. So, look, y'all, being a Republican, you're one of 49,000 people in Cumberland County, but we need you to get off the couch, get away from Fox News, and we need you to come and meet your neighbors. Being at the party level, you will see some extremes, some extreme right people, and you'll see a lot of moderates. Most people in our party are moderates. They want their family taken care of. They want good schools.
Lower taxes.
They want lower taxes, and they want your hands off my guns and children. So that's it. So anyway, April 22nd, Lions Club's going to be in the evening. I think.
So are you on the XCOM?
I'm not.
No?
No.
Well, that's like another thing for you to be on.
It's just, no, I'm good. I'm really good. So,
I
told you I got added to the, now I'm on the Chamber of Commerce. I'm not on the board, but I'm an ex officio member because I chair one of the committees. So now I'm getting those emails. I'm like, oh, cool. One more. So I tell people lately I have 4 extracurriculars between the radio and the 2 boards and commissions and the government relations. Now I have 5 because now I have to go to the board meeting. So, and that's one thing that's earmarked. Anybody that came through the cabinet doors, everybody is community involved.
Yes.
We're visible. You see us at things. We volunteer our time. I'm going to come to your, I don't know if I said it already, but I'm going to come to your Renaissance.
Yeah, our speech meet.
The 3rd of April,
The 3rd, yep. So let me put a shameless plug in there. April 3rd and 4th, Renaissance Classical Christian Academy will be doing their annual speech meet.
Okay.
We'll be doing upper grades on Thursday from 8 until 12. You can watch our seniors do their senior theses. And on Friday from 8 until 3, we will be doing the younger grades where they will have memorized speeches, famous speeches, and they will be doing those before the judges, and the public's welcome to come out and see what it's all about. You will be impressed.
Tell me about, because I was there last year, and I don't want to talk about the young lady, but is there a minimum amount of time they're supposed to be on stage?
So, yes, and as they get older, it grows.
Right.
So, say a second grader might have a 2-minute speech.
Right.
3-minute speech, whereas a 6th grader could have a 10-minute speech.
So there is a time requirement for them to
and they're
fill out.
graded on the difficulty level. The part that our judges don't partake in is judging the speech upon its difficulty. The teacher grades it on that, on the grading scale, and then says, "Hey, this is a very challenging speech," and so it might get a 9 out of 10 or something. And then a child that chooses a less difficult speech would get a 4 or 5 out of 10.
Well, it was very telling of the quality of education that y'all give over at Renaissance.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, I jokingly, it's like, well, that's intimidating. Some of those kids,
they are.
I mean, they're super
Yes.
at what they did and what y'all taught. So I'm excited to be there.
And I think you're coming out on Thursday.
I am.
Yep. And so you'll get to see the older grades, and that will be, again, the senior theses, and get ready. The depth you're going to see in these graduates is going to be Crazy.
I'm falling down on the job this year. I promised I was going to find a friend to come with me, but next year I'll have another judge.
Yes.
We'll have somebody else of the community that'll come.
That'll come out. Awesome.
Come and participate.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Anyway, so we got GOP, we got Renaissance, we got Doge making local waves.
Did you hear I heard a news broadcast, and it said that they had found explosive devices at Tesla.
Oh, Jesus.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, I guess green energy doesn't matter to the left.
Yeah, I'm like,
now they're vandalizing and blowing up Tesla. I am, however, thinking about selling my newest car, turning it in and finding a Tesla.
Hey.
Maybe a Tesla S or something.
Look,
what do you think?
I got a friend. I got a friend who owns one,
Yeah.
and he's like, dude, it's the greatest car. It drives by itself.
Okay.
Like it will park. It will,
I don't know about all that. I just care that I can get a better deal, probably.
Yeah.
So, I was like, maybe go from this one
It's
to
the
that
smartest
one.
car.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
smartest car
yeah.
he says he's ever.
Look, I have no doubt the quality of the stuff at this point. They have proven. But the crazy left, the terrorism on their part.
Yeah.
And there's one meme going around that really, really bothers me. It's they compare school shootings and say for school shootings you get thoughts and prayers, but for attacking a Tesla it's domestic terrorism.
What?
They're both domestic terrorism.
Yes.
And I don't think anybody would not classify a school shooting as domestic terrorism.
Yeah.
But there are memes going around from the left and all, and it's just heinous.
That's
You know,
rough.
everything we discussed about Department of Education. I have liberal friends that have put everything contrary, but no evidence.
No, yeah.
They say, how do you compare that we're lower in the ranking in the world because those tests didn't come out until like 1980? Look around.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Do I have to?
Yeah, I don't need to.
I'm not saying there aren't smart kids out there. What I'm
Right.
saying is we're talking percentages, and
Right.
the percentages say differently. And anyway, I interrupted you.
Oh,
Doge.
Doge. Oh, Doge. Okay, so I don't have all the updates. Hopefully I'll have some more by next show. But our Postal Service workers protested last Sunday.
Okay.
And unfortunately, it was, hell no, we won't go, or whatever. And I'm like, what are they mad about? So apparently, Elon Musk, Doge, has looked at the Postal Service, and lo and behold, they're not making money.
Well,
Lo and behold, they are losing money.
wait. Let me understand this. I thought, is the postal system a part of the U.S. government?
It's a quasi. This is, you got to love this. So first of all, let's go back to why we even have a postal service. Back in the day, 200-300 years ago, for you to be considered a nation, you needed a couple of things. One was a postal service.
Okay.
One was a militia or military, and a navy. You could pretty much boss anybody around if you had those things, right? But postal service and having that way to communicate was essential to calling yourself a nation.
Okay.
So I don't know if there is much mention in the Constitution about it, but it's not like going to HUD.
Yeah.
It's not like going to the VA. It's not really a government organization like that. The problem is you've got lifelong swamp bureaucrats at the top of this thing.
Yeah.
They're not making rational business decisions, and you're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Well, and I would think, I mean, just stop and let's use our minds, or
We do that
let's
occasionally.
put our
Yeah.
thinking caps
Yeah.
on for a moment, and just look at the decrease of what we would call snail mail.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that 20 years ago, it was a viable and profitable operation. Today, the only time it's viable is during Christmas time.
Right. Or election season.
Well, election season, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that people use that kind of mail.
So as a service, they have to adapt or
Yeah,
die.
yeah.
That's what a business needs to do. If you don't stay with the times, you're not going to stay.
Yeah.
And look, the fact is that Amazon, UPS, FedEx, they all backhaul stuff on the Postal Service. So if they concentrated on being that,
Yes.
let us, because the Postal Service is organized. I mean, even Amazon and UPS uses zip codes.
Yes. Yep.
So it is up to the Postal Service to organize this country for deliveries, but they need equipment. They have a pension fund they can't continue to fund and pay people out. They have too generous of benefits. And unfortunately, what I saw of the local protest, there was a man on the video, former elected official, and he says, we need to protect the jobs here because they hire people that nobody else will hire. And I'm looking at them like, really?
Yeah.
We need to protect it because people that can't get a job elsewhere.
Yeah.
Need a place.
What does that say about our postal workers?
Well, and that's an insult to our postal workers.
It's an
I think.
absolute insult.
But it was not meant to be, you know. But it's like I think you just insulted everybody that works for the Postal Service. I do believe that you can work for the Postal Service with a felony. I think it's subjective.
Yeah.
And maybe it's one of the few places that got rid of the box, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like if you're a criminal, you don't have to mark it
Yeah,
down. And everybody should be able to have a job, but I don't know if I want a convicted felon carrying grandma's Social Security check.
Yeah.
Which most of that stuff's electronic now. So, again, back to staying with the times, you know, ride or die. You gotta adapt to the market in front of you, and they just haven't done it fast enough because there is money that comes from Congress, but it comes with a lot of strings painted by bureaucrats that don't know, and it prevents them from being nimble. So.
And that's, I mean, again, you bring up zip codes, right? That I don't know. It definitely needs to be looked at, but I don't know the answer to. I'm not going to say we need to get rid of the United States Post Office, but
I think they're protesting against privatization, and I don't think anywhere was that mentioned.
Okay.
What they were talking about was putting industry experts in charge of, kind of like. Trump has those. But it gets
not what government
bent,
does, Peter.
And it leads liberals with emotion, which is very true. What they lead and dictate by emotion and not fact. Yeah. And the fact is, some people are going to lose their jobs. But why did they have them to begin with? Yeah. Bishop was talking last show about, these people losing their jobs. How I said, well, I empathize with him. I'm like, hey, he says, no. If you knew you were in a job that didn't really produce anything, then you knew you should get fired. Yeah. Yep. So, look, it's always impactful on people's families and all when they lose jobs. I was watching this movie, The Big Short, I think it was called. Okay. It had Steve Carell in it, and it was about the 2007-2008 crisis. And what's the guy's name? Oh, my God. Married to Brangelina.
Brad
Pitt. Yeah, Brad Pitt was in the movie, and he was like this insider trader guy. And the two people he was helping, they get excited. We're going to make a ton of money, whatever. And he says, he pretty much slapped him and said, stop celebrating. And they said, why? They were two young kids with a fund. He says, you realize with every percent the Dow drops or unemployment goes up by 1%, so many people commit suicide. So many people are homeless. You realize you just bet against the United States of America.
Yeah, and you're celebrating that.
Yes. So that's why after seeing stuff like that, I'm like, you got to consider, they lost their jobs, but what disruption that's going to be. Yeah. And hopefully there's stuff around them, unemployment and all. But if we need to restructure, the time is now. Yes. Because if we get another type president in the White House in 4 years, all this is going to stop, and it'll go back to status quo, and they're going to close the curtains back on us.
Do you think that would happen? The only reason why I say that is because hasn't the right woken up enough to say, hey, but you're probably right.
I hope so. What did I say? 49,000 Republicans in this county, and at convention, only 170 showed up. Yeah. And now I'm not, look, we need I'm saying this to beg for your help. Yeah. If you are a conservative in town, and Republicans don't own a lock on the word conservative. No. There are conservative Democrats out there that are church going, take care of their families, and want pretty much the same things that we as Republicans want. Yeah. Okay. So we need participation. We need people to show up. We got to stop with the keyboard warriorness. Yes. On the Facebooks.
And sit down and talk to somebody.
I just said that like an old guy, the Facebooks.
Yeah. But, sit down and talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And it's okay if they don't agree with you. Mm-hmm. They're not.
Yeah, and it doesn't make them stupid. And you don't have to judge them by who they voted for in the last election. Yeah. Let it go. I still on these dating sites, you see, if you voted for Trump, swipe left. And I've only ran across one or two that were decent enough to be looking to say that. The rest of them, I'm like, nobody was. Because I voted for Trump is not why you're not getting swiped on, baby. So, But, I really hope as a country we can overcome some of this stuff. Yes. And I definitely think more people are woken up to.
Well, and I hope even the Democratic Party wakes up a little bit and realizes they can't front the extreme left.
Well, who they're planning to run in 2028?
Who?
AOC.
Re-
Andrea Ocasio
Are you
Cortez.
kidding me?
They are trying to position her, so they're doubling down on the stupid.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
I'm
just-
sorry, but she's good to look at. That's where it stops. There's nothing
That
else
is-
about this woman. So
that's wild. For
It's
me.
like they haven't learned, and I think, we'll get to, I think I'll save that for next show. But
Okay.
Bill Maher is one of my favorite
Oh, I love-
Democrats now,
yes, I love
because
him.
now he's an elder Democrat.
Yes.
And he's like, wait a minute, this is all stupid.
Yep.
You know,
And he's still very Democrat.
Yeah.
But he's not.
he is,
Biden.
but he recognizes the writing on the wall.
Yes. Yeah.
Much like our song indicates.
Yes.
The writing on the wall. My goodness. Well, can you believe it's been 60 minutes? I want to say a thank you to our on-air cabinet members, Pastor Joshua Goodman.
Yes, sir.
And to Jim, thank you for joining this
Thank
morning.
you, Jim.
So to our audience, I hope you'll do us a favor and take time this week to visit one of our commercial sponsors and let them know you heard their message right here on the Carolina Cabinet. If you do somehow miss an episode of our top-rated show,
Top-rated.
you can find us on your favorite podcast broadcaster, Apple, Spotify, Google, or Audible. We're kind of everywhere. Look for us online at thecarolinacabinet.com. You can find all our videos and links. Thanks again for tuning in this morning. Until next time, we are
The Carolina Cabinet.